Every now and then there comes a story that's just showing us the surface of a character. Sometimes this character can feel a bit two-dimensional or static, but then we're given a scene that opens them up to the audience and adds an extra layer of depth that improves their character and gives them something more for the audience to latch onto. In I, Robot, Detective Spooner works for the Chicago police and is constantly shown having a dislike of robots, and throughout the film we assume that maybe it's because he has a dislike of new technology or has some weird prejudice against robots because they're just not human. However, after this explanation to Dr. Calvin, we're open to a greater picture.
Headed back to the station. Normal day, normal life. Driver of a semi fell asleep at the wheel. The car he hit, the driver's name was Harold Lloyd. Like the film star, of no relation. He was killed instantly. But his 12-year-old was in the passenger seat. The truck smashed our cars together and pushed us into the river. She's pinned, I'm pinned, the water's coming in. I'm a cop, so I already know everybody's dead. Just a few more minutes before we figure it out. And as Ford was passing by, saw the accident and jumped in the water.
You are in danger! You are in danger!
Save her! Save the girl! Save her! But it didn't. Save me.
The robot's brain is a difference engine. It's reading vital signs. It must have calculated that...
It did. I was the logical choice. Calculated that I had a 45% chance of survival. Sarah only had an 11% chance. That was somebody's baby. 11% is more than enough. A human being would have known that. Robots, nothing here, just lights and clockwork.
Here we understand that Spooner doesn't like robots because they don't make the morally correct decisions. He believes robots can make the most logical decisions, but can't make the right ones. And he has given an extra layer to his character, and is changed from a detective who doesn't like robots to a man who believes in humanity and would prefer complex choices, like survival, be decided by humans rather than the cold calculations of a machine. Sometimes one scene is all it takes to give a character more depth, but this doesn't just extend to protagonists, it can also apply to antagonists. And probably my favourite example of this is from Omni Man in the series Invincible. After the post-credits scene in the first episode where Omni Man slaughters the Guardians of the Globe, we start to see him only as this brutal butcher, and every scene involving him from here on out is filled with underlying tension. Every slip-up of aggression is full of dread, and every time we see him watching silently, we're stuck wondering what could possibly be going through his mind. For the most part, we just see him as this two-dimensional barbarian, but this scene from episode 7 changes how we understand Omni Man.
Mark, I killed the Guardians of the Globe. Wait, before you say anything, just listen, please. I'm not a monster. I didn't want to do it, but it had to be done. It was my responsibility. Other people won't understand that, but I know you can. What I'm about to tell you will change everything. Just remember, you're my son, and I love you and your mother more than... What am I doing?
In this scene, we see Nolan practicing how he's going to explain everything to Mark on top of a mountain. But what makes this scene special is that for the first time, we see Nolan uncertain. And as weird as it is to say, he feels strangely human here. We're not just seeing Omni Man, we're seeing Nolan at a loss for what to do. The entire season, we've seen him as this confident demigod, but here, he's vulnerable. He knows what he has to do as a conqueror, but now he'll lose something he cares about by executing his mission. His wife, Debbie, and son, Mark. Him loving them wasn't part of the plan, but now it's a roadblock. These scenes are also good for establishing a character's actions later in the story. When we take a look at the Omni-Man and Invincible fight in the final episode, Nolan shows a bit of hesitation and doubt in his violence towards his son. And in this scene, at the end of their fight, Nolan's true character finally shows.
What will you have after 500 years?
You, Dad. I still have you. Dad?
But without the mountain scene from episode 7, Nolan's realization that he's hurting the people that he cares about would come more out of nowhere and feel more like a plot convenience than actual character development. But because of this scene in episode 7, along with the beating he gave to his son, we understand that Nolan was completely dedicated to Viltrum, but now something has entered his life that rivals that dedication.